Joe, you mentioned that there are some unseen side benefits to tokenization. Do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Sure. One of the interesting areas, as we were talking about before, I mean, what I would think of as now sort of esoteric in the digital asset space is the transparency that can come with opening up certain markets or asset classes. I think folks who were here yesterday were talking about things like tokenizing rare earth metals, uranium, things like lithium, cobalt. These are areas where the benefit of tokenization initially may not be called like greater liquidity out of the gate, but it's actually creating transparency into what is an otherwise gray market. And creating transparency attracts more institutional investors, attracts sovereigns, it creates better trade partners, may act as a better hedge to, we'll call it like global powers that are vying for certain access. And so I think there are some of these, I don't want to call them ancillary benefits because they're pretty core to what blockchain is and from like an ethos perspective. But one that tends to get lost, I think, when we focus a lot on things like, equities as a starting point. The other thing I will add, and this is something that DTCC and Euroclear and others talk a lot about, we do quite a lot of as a firm on the, it's funny to say this, traditional digital asset side around things like BTC and ETH and those assets is collateral movement, right? The ability to leverage tokenized assets or even traditional crypto as eligible collateral for any number of transactions, be they derivatives or straight loans, also applies to the RWA space. If you can evidence the control over that asset, you can put collateral management ecosystem around it, you can attract lenders. And so I think there's also an element here about opening up utility, especially for investments that may have a long tail, right? If you're not able to cash out on something for 10 years, it'd be great if you could take a line of credit out on it, or for the early BTC holders, the reason they do this is because they don't want the capital gains hit. Makes perfect sense.